Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pro Fluent. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jamie. Really glad you are here today.
Today's episode is a little different. There is no grammar lesson, no vocabulary list, no topic to study. Today, we are just talking.
Two friends having a real conversation, the kind of English you hear every day, at work, with friends, over coffee.
And that is exactly why it is useful, because real conversation is not always about grammar. It is about following a story, understanding how people speak naturally, and picking up phrases along the way.
So just relax and listen. Before we start, though, if English Pro Fluent is helping you, please subscribe. It genuinely means a lot and helps us keep making episodes like this one.
Right. Now, Jamie, you look tired.
Is it that obvious?
A little bit. What happened?
Work. Yesterday was a long day, a very long day.
Tell me. I have my coffee. I am ready to listen.
Is that your second cup already?
Third, actually. Do not judge me.
No judgment. I have green tea. I'm trying to be healthier.
How is that going?
I miss coffee enormously. But go on, I was about to complain about work.
Please do.
So, yesterday we had a team meeting. The whole team, everyone in the same room, and my boss, Mr. Henderson, tells us he needs a full report by Friday.
This Friday?
This Friday. Today is Tuesday.
That is 3 days, Jamie.
3 days for a report that would normally take 2 weeks. And it is not a small report. It is a full financial analysis. Numbers, charts, summaries, the whole thing.
I feel stressed just hearing about it.
The meeting lasted 3 hours. 3 hours of my boss explaining exactly how important this report is, while we all sat there thinking about how little time we have to write it.
Did anyone say anything? Did anyone tell him 3 days is not enough?
You know how it is. Everyone looked at each other, nobody said anything, and then we all came out of the meeting and stared at our desks in silence.
That specific silence after a meeting where everyone is equally overwhelmed.
Exactly that silence. And then there's the other thing.
There is always an other thing.
So on our team, there's Tom. You have met Tom at the work party last year. Tall, very loud, always has a story.
Yes, Tom. He talked to me for 40 minutes about his holiday in Portugal.
That sounds exactly right. So Tom has been partnered with Sarah on this report. Sarah is newer to the team. She's only been with us for about 4 months. Very focused, very capable, but quieter.
Tom and Sarah working together. I can already see the problem.
Tom generates ideas loudly and continuously. Sarah wants to sit down, make a plan, and work through it carefully. They are completely different working styles.
Did something happen between them?
Yesterday at lunch, Sarah came and sat near me. She looked really flat. Not angry, just flat. And she said very quietly, "Tom makes it very hard to concentrate."
Oh, that is not nothing.
No. And I could see Tom at his desk on the other side of the office, talking on the phone, laughing loudly, completely unaware.
Does your boss know?
Mr. Henderson only sees the report. As long as the report appears on Friday, everything is fine in his world.
So the pressure is on, the deadline is impossible, and 2 people on your team are not communicating. That's a lot.
And I sit between them.
Physically.
Literally between their desks. Sarah on my left, Tom on my right.
Jamie, that is genuinely difficult.
Today at lunch, I ate alone at my desk because Tom ate at his desk and Sarah ate at her desk, and the idea of choosing a side felt wrong.
What are you going to do?
I had an idea this morning. I'm going to go to the coffee shop on the corner, the one with the green sign, the coffee stop.
Oh, I like that place. They have those big chocolate cookies.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Coffee and cookies. One for Tom, one for Sarah.
And you?
Obviously one for me too. I'm doing the work. I deserve a cookie.
That is actually a very good instinct. Food as a peace offering.
I just want to walk in, put a coffee and a cookie on each of their desks without making a big deal of it, and hopefully it softens the atmosphere enough that they can get through the next 3 days together.
Small gestures matter more than people realize, and cookies especially.
If cookies cannot fix an office problem, I don't know what can.
I will be thinking of you on Friday when you submit that report.
Thank you. Right. Enough about my stressful week. You, on the other hand, look very pleased with yourself.
I do, don't I?
What has happened?
I got a message last night from my best friend Maria.
Maria, yes, I know Maria. Long dark hair, always laughing.
That is her. She is getting married.
What? When?
Next month.
Next month. Emma, that is very soon.
I know. When Maria decides something, she does not wait around. But Jamie, she is so happy. I have never heard her sound like that on the phone. She was almost crying, but the happy kind.
Who is she marrying?
His name is Leo. He's a doctor. He's kind and funny and apparently very patient, which, if you know Maria, is a necessary quality.
And how did they meet? Please tell me there is a good story.
There is an excellent story. They met at the supermarket.
The supermarket?
6 months ago, Maria was buying apples. She's very particular about apples. She has to check every single one. And she accidentally knocked the whole display. Apples everywhere, rolling across the floor.
Oh no.
And this man, Leo, immediately got down on the floor with her to pick them up. Did not hesitate, just got down and started collecting apples.
That is a good sign in a person.
And when they stood up, he looked at her and said, completely seriously, "You have excellent taste in apples." And Maria, who is usually very quick with words, just laughed. She said she could not think of a single thing to say.
Maria speechless. That really is love.
They got coffee that same afternoon, and apparently they talked for 4 hours and missed dinner and did not notice.
4 hours the first time. That is significant.
And 6 months later, here we are. A wedding next month in a garden venue outside the city. Maria says there will be flowers absolutely everywhere.
A garden wedding sounds beautiful.
It will be. I am so happy for her. And also,
you need a dress.
I need a dress, a good dress, and I have absolutely no idea where to start.
All right. Tell me what you're thinking.
It's a garden wedding, so something that works outdoors. Not too formal, not too casual, and I need to be able to actually walk in it. Last wedding I went to, I wore heels and spent the whole reception standing near a wall because the garden was completely uneven.
Sensible lesson learned.
Flat shoes this time, which means the dress needs to work with flat shoes, which changes things slightly.
What color are you thinking?
I keep going back and forth. I love blue. It's my color. It matches my eyes. But Maria's favorite color is green, and I thought maybe wearing green would be a nice way to...
Emma, Maria is not going to notice what color dress her best friend is wearing. She's going to be getting married.
You are completely right. Blue.
Blue, settled. Long or short?
Garden setting, I think long is more elegant, but I'm not very tall, and long dresses always need adjusting.
You can find a tailor. Buy the dress on Saturday, take it to a tailor the following week.
That's actually very practical.
I have my moments. And shoes, flat, so silver or white would work well with Brew.
Silver, definitely silver, and a small silver bag.
There you go. Long blue dress, silver flat shoes, silver bag. Done.
You solved my whole outfit in 4 minutes.
I had help. You already knew what you wanted. You just needed someone to listen while you figured it out.
That's very wise, Jamie.
I try. So, where are you shopping?
The big mall on Saturday, and then Saturday evening, Maria and I are having dinner to talk about everything. Wedding details, her dress, the venue.
Where are you eating?
Luigi's, the small Italian place near the park.
Oh, their pasta is extraordinary.
It really is. So, you have your terrible week and a cookie plan. I have a wedding and a shopping trip.
Completely different kinds of busy.
What are you doing on Friday night after you submit this enormous report?
Friday night. I am going home. I am changing out of my work clothes the moment I walk through the door. I'm sitting on my sofa, my big, comfortable sofa, and I am ordering pizza.
What kind?
Pepperoni. Simple, perfect. And then I am watching something funny, a comedy film. I need to laugh after this week.
You deserve that completely.
And I am not setting an alarm for Saturday morning for the first time in what feels like months.
That is a genuine luxury.
What about you? Saturday morning before the shopping?
A slow morning. Coffee at home, properly slow, not rushed. Maybe a walk. And then the mall in the afternoon.
And you are confident about the blue dress.
I am. Long, blue, silver shoes, done.
Good. And you will send me a photo when you find it.
Obviously. You helped me decide. You are getting a photo.
I feel invested now. I want to see this dress.
You will. And Jamie, the cookies tomorrow. I genuinely think it will help.
I hope so. Sometimes the smallest thing can shift an atmosphere. A coffee, a cookie, someone taking a moment to notice that things are tense. It matters.
It really does. You are a good colleague.
I am just someone who does not enjoy eating lunch alone.
That too. Before we finish, let us look at some of the vocabulary from today's conversation. These are words and phrases that came up naturally as we talked.
All of these are useful for everyday English, talking about work, friends, plans, and feelings.
Talking about work. A deadline. The date or time something must be finished. We have a deadline on Friday. A financial report. A document with numbers and business results. The boss wants a full financial report. Working styles. The way different people prefer to work. Tom and Sarah have very different working styles. To concentrate. To focus your attention. It is hard to concentrate when it is noisy. The atmosphere. The general feeling or mood in a place. The atmosphere in the office was tense. A peace offering. Something you give to improve a difficult situation. Coffee and cookies as a peace offering. To submit a report. To officially hand in a finished document. We must submit the report by Friday.
Talking about people and feelings. She looked flat. She seemed sad or without energy. Sarah looked really flat after the meeting. Unaware, not knowing about something. Tom was completely unaware of the tension. Overwhelmed, feeling like too much is happening at once. After the meeting, everyone felt overwhelmed. Speechless, unable to speak, usually from surprise or emotion. Maria was completely speechless. Patient, calm and willing to wait. Leo is very patient, which suits Maria well. Talking about events and plans. Getting married, to be about to have a wedding. My best friend is getting married next month. A venue, the place where an event happens. The wedding venue is a garden outside the city. To adjust, a tailor, to change the size of a piece of clothing, the person who does it. I need a tailor to adjust the dress. A slow morning, a relaxed morning with no rush. On Saturday, I'm having a slow morning. To feel invested, to care about the outcome of something. I helped choose the dress, so now I feel invested.
Natural conversation phrases. Is it that obvious? A natural response when someone notices how you feel. That is not nothing. A way to say something is actually significant. I can already see the problem and understanding a situation before it is fully explained. That is a lot, a sympathetic response to someone who has many problems at once. I have my moments, a modest way to accept a compliment on something clever you said. Don't judge me, said humorously when you admit something slightly embarrassing. Real conversation is not about perfect grammar. It's about connecting with another person using the language you have.
Emma, this was exactly what I needed today.
A chat?
A proper chat. I feel less tired, which I did not think was possible 40 minutes ago.
Talking helps. That is the whole secret.
And thank you to everyone who listened today. I hope our very ordinary week gave you some useful English and maybe a little entertainment.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe to English Pro Fluent. It is genuinely the best way to support what we do, and make sure you never miss an episode.
And we would love to hear from you. What is happening in your week? Are you dealing with a difficult deadline, exciting news from a friend, a wedding outfit to plan?
Whatever it is, you are welcome here, and we will be back very soon with another episode.
Good luck with the dress, Emma.
Good luck with the report, Jamie, and the cookies.
Especially the cookies.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Jamie.
You have been listening to English Pro Fluent. Keep growing, keep speaking, and we will see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.